Good evening, everyone. Welcome to California Today. I'm David Zhang. Here is a look at some of today's top stories. Thousands of teens broke out into a brawl at a Southern California mall. In nearby cities, similar fights were also caught on video. A longtime San Francisco resident gives people a tour of the city's Tenderloin neighborhood. He introduces the area's history and current situation. More details on the mysterious company buying land near Travis Air Force Base. The company is also set to meet with the lawmakers this week. Brawling at Del Amo Fashion Center triggers substantial police response. NTD's Stephanie Sikal reports on that and multiple skirmishes involving youth around California.
A chaotic scene unfolded at Del Amo Fashion Center. What at first many thought was another flash mob robbery turned out to be a dozen of juveniles fighting each other. A brawl involving a group of teens at the Del Amo Fashion Center triggered a significant police response in Torrance on a Sunday afternoon. Calls reporting the incident on the 3500 block of West Carson Street started coming in around 4 p.m. as informed by Torrance Police Department Sergeant Salary. Responding officers arrived at the location and confirmed a fight among a group of juveniles. According to Salary, one witness mentioned a firearm being discharged, but no gunshot victims were found. Salary continued to say that nearby businesses didn't require evacuation and eventually the young individuals involved were escorted away from the premises. While the exact number of people involved in the fight isn't clear, police estimated around 1,000 juveniles were present as spectators. Additionally, there was another instance of a conflict involving young individuals in Emeryville on the same Sunday afternoon. According to the Emeryville Police Department, approximately 50 young individuals caused a disturbance inside a store at the Bay Street Mall and had to be escorted out. About an hour later, around 200 to 250 young people gathered at the mall, leading to several fights near the courtyard. A gunshot was fired near Bay Street and all one way, but no injuries were reported. In a separate incident near Elm Street, a minor was stabbed and taken to the hospital with no life-threatening injuries. These incidents serve as a stark reminder of the challenges law enforcement agencies face in maintaining order during public gatherings. Authorities are continuing their investigations into both situations, emphasizing the importance of ensuring the safety of all residents. Stephanie Sikal, NTD News, Los Angeles.
When an ex-cop opened fire inside an Orange County family establishment, one brave father recalls grasping his baby just in the nick of time. NTD's Christina Corona has more.
Ryan Giedis was enjoying an evening at Cook's Corner, a place he's known since childhood, with his 7-month-old daughter and mother-in-law when gunshots rang out. Giedis believed the sounds were fireworks. However, as screaming began and more shots followed, the bar's popular weekly $8 spaghetti night turned into every parent's worst nightmare, as retired Ventura Police Sergeant John Snowling, 59, opened fire. He told the Associated Press, "I just reached into the stroller and ejected my daughter out of that thing. Ripped her out of there as fast as I could. It was all a blur. It happened so fast." As he held on tight to his baby Olive, Giedis recalls running from the bar's patio to the property's rear, where other patrons hid near hillside trees. After more gunshots fired, the 36-year-old handed Olive to a nearby man, leaped down 10 feet, and quickly retrieved her. Mountain bikers nearby helped navigate them through the brush, even lifting a branch for him and his mother-in-law to crawl under. They reached safety in a nearby parking lot with the help of these bikers. John Snowling shot 9 people at Cook's Corner Bar in Trabuco Canyon that night, targeting his estranged wife, Marie Snowling, killing 3 and wounding 6. The victims have been identified as Tanya Clark, 49 of Scottsdale, Arizona, Glenn Sproul Jr., 53 of Stanton, and John Leahy, 67 of Irvine. Christina Corona, NTD News, Orange County.
A tour calling itself the Doom Loop Walking Tour promised to show San Francisco's open-air drug markets and vacant department stores. However, NTD's Jason Blair reports that the tour was canceled, but a second unaffiliated tour going through many of the same neighborhoods happened instead.
A downtown doom loop walking tour showing San Francisco's drug and economic issues was sold out for a Saturday tour according to a listing on Eventbrite. However, it was suddenly canceled, and a different tour that was unaffiliated ended up happening instead. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, a notice was sent out canceling the Doom Loop tour less than a day before, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, the substantial media interest means that it is not possible to preserve my anonymity while publicly posting the tour's time and meeting location." The tour listing says the anonymous guide is a city commissioner and co-founder of San Francisco's largest neighborhood association. And, quote, "We will view the open-air drug markets, the abandoned tech offices, the outposts of the nonprofit industrial complex, and the deserted department stores." In recent years, open-air drug use, homelessness, and closing businesses have been in the spotlight for the city. Now the tour was scheduled to start right over here in this area. And when I showed up to investigate, not knowing that it was canceled, I saw a group forming, but it turned out to be for a different tour. The simultaneously scheduled tour was the Tenderloin walking tour, and it went through the Tenderloin and mid-market neighborhoods, which are hotspots for homelessness and drug use. It was led by Del Seymour, a homeless advocate and nonprofit founder that helps struggling people find employment and helps addicts find recovery.
Because even you got people in the community believing we're in a Zoom, doom, room, whatever it is. And that's really depressing. So already being in this situation, then having people tell you how bad you are, how bad you look, how bad you smell.
The tour showed the Tenderloin sites and unique history. It didn't ignore the homeless and drug issues, but it also showed the many efforts to help people get back on their feet.
We not only pass out meals to people, we help people find housing, we help people find educational resources.
Seymour has been doing the free tour 3 times a week for 17 years and says he does it to show people what the often avoided area is really like.
I want people to learn learn a better way to deal with their unhoused neighbors in this neighborhood or their own neighborhoods.
The tour was just under 2 hours long and had around 70 in attendance. It ended at Seymour's nonprofit called Tenderloin, where free lunches were waiting for attendees. Reporting from San Francisco, Jason Blair, NTD News.
A new city in Northern California, the mysterious company buying patches of land near Travis Air Force Base may be trying to build one from scratch. Flannery Associates are reportedly meeting with a state representative this week to discuss. NTD's David Lamb reports.
Travis Air Force Base is located in Solano County in California. Based on reports, it may get a new neighboring city. Officials such as Catherine Moy, Mayor of Fairfield, and Representative John Garamendi have been trying to figure out what the company's been up to. But the company is supposed to meet with officials this week after 4 years of staying under the radar. Tech billionaires are reportedly backing Flannery Associates, the company who has spent over $800 million acquiring agricultural land near the military base as early as 2018. According to the New York Times, investors behind the mysterious LLC include prominent Silicon Valley investors such as billionaire venture capitalist Michael Moritz, LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, as well as Lorena Powell Jobs, businesswoman and widow of Steve Jobs. The company has little information publicly available, but has secured thousands of acres of farmland, reportedly making offers to landowners, paying several times the market rate. A representative said that the group was made of Californians who believe that Solano County's and California's best days are ahead. In May, the company sued local farmers, in which Rep. Garamendi says it was likely a tactic to financially destroy the farmers. Residents near the area recently received a survey with questions such as rating how they favor Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Flannery Associates. Another question referred to a new city with tens of thousands of new homes, a solar energy farm, over 1 million new trees, and over 10,000 acres of new parks and open space. Though it's not confirmed who sent the survey, locals are skeptical, with Fairfield Mayor mentioning the drought conditions of the area and the dangerous roads and highways. David Lamb, NTD News.
In Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s lawsuit against Google, a federal judge recently rejected the presidential candidate's request against the tech company. Google and YouTube have removed multiple videos from Kennedy claiming medical misinformation. Kennedy says it violates his First Amendment rights. The case will move forward to other motions scheduled on November 7th. We'll now take a short break, everyone, but here's what we have for you when we come right back. Family members of murder victims are supporting the effort to recall Alameda County's DA. They claim she's being too soft on crime. A longtime game host has passed away at the age of 99. We'll have more on his story and legacy. Over a dozen orphaned dogs rescued from the Maui fire arrived in San Diego. The pups are now up for adoption. Those stories and more coming up on California Today. Welcome back to California Today, everybody. I'm your host, David Zhang. Family and friends of murder victims supporting the effort to recall Alameda County's district attorney. The group behind the recall movement has filed a notice of intent with the county. Here's more. The group calling for Price's recall is known as Save Alameda for Everyone, or SAFE. As of last week, 127 signatures have been collected and certified in Alameda County, and DA Price has responded to the recall petition. The group alleges that as crime spirals out of control on Alameda County streets, DA Price has reduced the sentencing for criminals and even refuses to charge violent felons with crimes. Since joining the effort to recall DA Pamela Price, Brenda Grisham said she has already been compared to January 6 insurgents and called a patsy, a figurehead, and a racist.
I'm African American. I'm the primary, and my name is the first signature on the petition. I'm African American. How is it racist? This is homegrown. This is from here, right here in the city of Oakland.
Friday's news conference took place at a children's memorial statue at Oakland's Lake Merritt. The memorial was dedicated in 2016 to Grisham's son and other children who died of gun violence. Grisham's son, Christopher Jones, would have turned 30 had he not been killed in 2010 at age 17.
We are not misinforming the public. These families, these mothers, some mothers are here today, have lost their children. There's no misinformation about that. Some of them, the killers will be out soon. There's no misinformation about that. So the message that we are sending to the public is these are the people you need to be standing behind.
Family members who lost their loved ones in several high-profile murder cases also spoke out. The cases include Alameda County Sheriff's recruit David Nguyen and Crown Force security guard Kevin Nishida.
My brother was killed in 2022 of January. His name was David Nguyen. And I think about him always, and this is why I'm still here, and this is why I'm fighting for a cause like this.
My family can never talk to him again. Neither can I. But for these guys, I'm not asking for the death sentence. I'm asking that they stay in prison for life so they don't do this to anyone else. They were on a crime spree. It's been proven. And Kevin was part of that crime spree. So that's what I'm asking from Pamela Price. What are you going to do?
The recall group has to gather more than 90,000 signatures to get the recall on the ballot. Less than a year ago, a similar recall effort in San Francisco across the bay was successful in ousting SFDA Chelsea Boudin. Bob Barker, a longtime game show host, passed away over the weekend. For over half a century, he was a household name for two popular shows.
Bob Barker, the 35-year host of the popular American game show The Price is Right, has passed away at age 99. According to his publicist, Barker died Saturday morning of natural causes at his longtime home in the Hollywood Hills. the much-beloved silver-haired host of The Price is Right from 1972 to 2007, had won 19 Daytime Emmy Awards. Before that show, he also hosted Truth or Consequences for 18 years. He retired in 2007. In 2009, Barker told the Connecticut newspaper, quote, "I'm just very fortunate that they liked me well enough to invite me into their homes for 50 years. The Price is Right became the longest-running game show on U.S. television. Viewers watched Barker hand out more than $300 million in cash and prizes like cars, appliances, and trips. In a statement, CBS said that daytime television has lost one of its most iconic stars. Barker, a committed animal rights activist, also gave millions of dollars to pro-animal causes, including donating $5 million for a ship named the Bob Barker to stop Japanese whaling ships from killing whales off Antarctica. He had stopped eating meat in 1979. Barker did not remarry after his wife, Dorothy, died of cancer in 1981. They had no children. His publicist told E.T. that Barker requested for no funeral or memorial service. He will be laid down next to his wife at Forest Lawn Memorial Cemetery in the Hollywood Hills.
E-cigarette giant Juul announced the layoffs with efforts to cut costs amid high inflation and interest rates. This comes as the company also agreed to pay hundreds of millions of dollars earlier this year to settle lawsuits that claimed it marketed its products to minors.
According to Reuters, Juul Labs is planning to lay off 30% of its workforce as the e-cigarettes maker aims to reduce its operating costs. In a statement on Wednesday, the company said the restructuring is aimed at maximizing profitability and cash flow generation. It continued, "To deliver on this strategy, we will be substantially reducing our headcount and, unfortunately, saying goodbye to a number of highly valued team members who have made tremendous contributions to the mission." The e-cigarettes maker joins several companies across corporate America that have trimmed their workforce this year amid still high inflation and rising interest rates. A source told Reuters Juul would lay off about 250 people, bringing its workforce down to around 650. Juul has also been under pressure over the past year, as it has had to deal with lawsuits related to how it marketed its e-cigarettes. In April, the company had agreed to pay $462 million over 8 years to settle claims by 6 U.S. states, including New York and California, along with the District of Columbia, that it unlawfully marketed its addictive products to minors.
Juul's lies led to a nationwide public health crisis and put addictive products in the hands of minors who thought they were doing something harmless. E-cigarette use amongst middle and high school students more than doubled after Juul was first introduced in 2015.
On Tuesday, Marlboro maker Altria Group said it has filed a complaint against Juul with the U.S. International Trade Commission, seeking a ban on the import and sale of Juul products.
Following deadly wildfires in Maui earlier this month, orphaned pets will be up for adoption. Rescuers evacuated over a dozen of them to San Diego. Here's the story.
20 orphaned pets will be up for adoption in San Diego after animal rescuers transported them from the devastation of the Maui wildfires. The Helen Woodward Animal Center has helped arrange the evacuation to ease the room in shelters of the Hawaii island.
Yes, so we're extremely excited to be bringing in a number of rescue animals from the island of Maui. We're actually working with the Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation on the island of Maui. And, you know, we've been wanting to help after the devastation of the Maui fires.
More than 100 people were killed in the wildfires that tore through Maui. It was the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than 100 years. Over 300 people are still unaccounted for.
And one of the things we know that they're in desperate need of all the time is space and clearing out their shelters. And now more than ever, it's extremely crucial because the people in Maui lost their homes and they are having to rebuild from scratch, and they don't have any place to put their pets and their animals. So they are looking towards the shelters.
Members of the Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation on Maui have been trying to find lost pets and provide comfort and supplies to those in need. Alaska Airlines helped fly the pets to San Diego. The newly arrived pets will be available for adoption over the next few weeks after they clear their medical checks. Those interested in adopting can visit animalcenter.org.
Now let's check in with NTD's Carlos Reyes for our sports roundup.
This is your California Sports Roundup, and I'm Carlos Reyes. Roughly 2.5 years after the San Francisco 49ers drafted him to be their franchise quarterback, Trey Lance's time with the team is officially over. The Niners agreed to Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a 4th-round draft choice on Friday night, General Manager John Lynch confirmed. The 49ers are not picking up any of Lance's remaining salary as part of the trade. The deal ends a whirlwind 48 hours in which Lance was informed that Sam Darnold had beaten him out for the number 2 quarterback job behind starter Brock Purdy, requested a trade, did not participate in last week's Wednesday practice, and returned to the team facility the following morning. It also ends a once promising union between a team that had advanced to at least the NFC Championship game in 3 of the past 4 years, and a young signal caller once viewed as the answer to the franchise's more than 2-decade search for quarterback stability. During that meeting Wednesday morning, Shanahan said he told Lance that even though he wasn't going to be the backup, he wanted Lance to stay around as the 3rd quarterback. But Shanahan added that he believed Lance needed as many reps as possible to continue developing, something that would be difficult in San Francisco with Purdy as a starter and Darnold running the scout team. Lance took about 90 minutes to ponder his options before meeting with Shanahan again and telling the coach that he would like to find a different spot to reset his career. Lance is scheduled to make $940,000 in 2023 and has a $5.3 million salary in 2024, all of which is guaranteed. Upon trading him, the Niners will incur dead money hits of $8.3 million this year and $5.5 in 2024. The San Jose Earthquakes fell to Sporting Kansas City 3-0 on Saturday night at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City, Kansas. In Paul Mary's 100th appearance for the Earthquakes, Sporting Kansas City would open the scoring early in the match. Goalkeeper Daniel made a strong diving save to deny a long-range strike in the 16th minute, but his heroics would prove to not be enough. Despite Matthew Hope's much-anticipated debut for the San Jose club, Kansas City would go on to score 2 more goals, and the Quakes had a penalty opportunity saved in the final minutes to complete the match. The Earthquakes will now prepare for 2 home matches next week, first facing bitter rivals the Los Angeles Galaxy on Wednesday, August 30th. That is it for today's Sports Roundup. Thank you for watching. I'm Carlos Reyes.
Thanks, Carlos. All right, everyone, that's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts at ntd.com/California-today. You will find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ganjin World, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. If you'd like to share a news tip or let us know how we're doing, we'd love to hear from you. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.